A title appears. Confidentiality is a victim's right. A logo. NSVRC, National Sexual Violence Resource Center. A graphic appears. Jessica Mindlin, National Director of Training and Technical Assistance, Victim Rights Law Center, Oregon.
When it comes to addressing privacy and confidentiality issues in a SART, I think it's often both a strength for SARTs that they are multidisciplinary, so that they bring together law enforcement and the advocate community and a prosecutor and maybe a healthcare provider or school representatives. I mean, every SART is different, and every profession, and depending upon funding, sets of professionals are governed by very different privacy and confidentiality obligations. So some clashes or differing perspectives are inevitable because these individuals have different perspectives, different obligations, and having that conversation at the very outset and repeatedly, because there's turnover, people forget, etc., is so critical to SARTs being able to work together. When someone is unwilling to share a survivor's personal information, it's not that they don't trust their colleagues on the SART, but rather maybe the survivor has requested certain information not be shared. Maybe they're funding the federal laws, such as the Violence Against Women Act, the Family Violence Prevention Services Act, or the Victims of Crime Act, all of which have confidentiality provisions, prohibit them. They may not, under federal law, share that information without the survivor's consent. So I would ask them to take a step back and say, what are you trying to accomplish? And what are the different avenues for trying to accomplish that? And start by building trust, recognizing that everyone who comes to the table has something important to bring, and that you aren't always going to be advancing your goals by sharing survivors' personal information. In fact, by trying to force that hand and make that happen, it may have the absolute opposite reaction, that you may not get the participation that you want. You may get survivors who stop coming forward because they don't want their information disclosed in this context. It really is, are we providing survivor-centered services in our community in a way that makes it safe for survivors to come forward, to have their needs identified, and for us as a community to address those needs.
A quote appears. Start by building trust, recognizing that everyone who comes to the table has something important to bring, and that you aren't always going to be advancing your goals by sharing survivors' personal information. Jessica Mindlin. Find out more at www.nsvrc.org/SART Toolkit. Special thanks to Jessica Mindlin. Copyright National Sexual Violence Resource Center 2018. All rights reserved. This video was produced by Dash and Thompson under grant number 2015 VFGX-K003, awarded by the Office for Victims of Crime, Office of Justice Programs, U.S. Department of Justice. The opinions, findings, and conclusions or recommendations expressed in this video are those of the contributors and do not necessarily represent the official position or policies of the U.S. Department of Justice.